Today, we're going to be trying something a bit different. I'm going to create my first game review. This is quite obviously scripted, and I'm excited to finally be able to share my thoughts with other people. Let's get into it. We are reviewing Terraria, a sandbox adventure game originally released in 2011, developed and published by Relogic. This game has raved reviews, having over 500,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam at the time of writing, and an 83% score on Metacritic. There's lots to say about this game, as it's been around for a good long while and is extremely popular. If you were to go outside and ask anybody if they knew what Terraria was, they'd probably say yes, just because of how much this game spread. It's on lots of platforms, including the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, mobile, and most importantly, PC. The gameplay is really fun and satisfying. You use the keyboard to move around and the mouse to aim on PC via the cursor, and on console you use the left stick to move and the right stick to aim. Pressing left control or pressing the right stick will enable Smart Cursor, which will automatically select blocks closest to where your cursor is, rather than exactly where it is. Moving around feels very fluid, and you can even fly via accessories in the game by holding space or holding A. You'll need to get really used to the way these controls feel, because there's plenty of boss fights throughout the course of the game, especially on the aptly named Expert and Master modes. After playing through both, let's just say that things hit pretty hard in any mode that isn't classic. Dying will result in the loss of your coinage, so you'll need to make sure that doesn't happen, because many useful accessories can be purchased via NPC vendors all throughout the campaign, which is a nice segue into our next topic. There are 4 game modes you can choose from: Journey Mode, Classic Mode, Expert Mode, and Master Mode being them. If you want the most definitive Terraria experience, you might want to play through Classic Mode. Classic Mode is how Terraria was meant to be played, and the only way it was able to be played from all versions until Update 1.3, which added Expert Mode to the game. In Classic Mode, you begin with only the most basic necessities required for game progression, such as a sword for fighting enemies, a pickaxe for mining through blocks, and an axe for gathering wood. If you build proper houses, you can have NPCs move into them. Some will sell you useful items, such as weapons and accessories. Others will give you building materials or just random fun, like pets or firework launchers. The boss fights are pretty hard, have tons of health, and do steady damage. Upon dying, you will drop half of your coin balance, which is not welcome, especially since you will need to buy items at key points of the game to be able to progress further. This is my favorite of the 4 modes because its difficulty is balanced and it has really fun progression. In the PC and mobile exclusive Journey mode, the difficulty can be described as leisurely. The damage and health of all enemies and bosses has been cut in half, and many, including myself, often refer to Journey mode as just easy mode because that's what it was meant to be. You have access to other abilities in this mode as well, such as God mode, changing the time, increasing enemy spawn rates, enemy difficulty, and most importantly, item duplication. If you research enough of an item, you have the ability to duplicate it an infinite amount of times. Journey mode just isn't my thing because of how easy it is, and it just feels like a creative mode that somehow just isn't one, but if you're not that good at video games, it's perfect for you. Next up is Expert mode, which I like a lot as it's perfect for my skill level in the game. This mode is aptly named, as it's for veterans of the game. Rather obviously, it's way more difficult than the previous 2 modes I mentioned. Changes include doubled enemy stats, more money dropped on death, new boss mechanics, longer respawn timers. There's so much. However, there are also benefits to playing in Expert mode compared to Classic mode. There's new weapons and accessories to help you kill the very buff bosses and enemy types, and there's way more coins dropped from enemies you kill. Like, I'd get roughly 10 to 20 times the amount of coinage in Expert mode compared to Classic mode. If you think you're good at Terraria, try Expert mode. It's a great challenge for veterans. Last but not least, there's Master mode, which doesn't change much compared to Expert mode. It quadruples enemy health, while Expert mode only doubles it. There's also yet more money dropped from enemies and Master mode exclusive loot, but there isn't much of it. This mode is just for true masters of the game, as its name describes. Compared to the other modes, this one just kinda sits in the corner. Nobody plays it, nobody really likes it. There's no reason for it to be there, really. Terraria is definitely best played with 4 or more players in one world. It's got some impressive multiplayer support, and it's super easy to get multiple people into a world. Just host a world and people can join you through Steam. It's as simple as that. But if you've got some networking experience, there's also server support for if there's a surplus amount of people joining. As quoted from the old Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of Terraria, bosses are easier to defeat with friends. It doesn't really feel the same playing solo compared to playing with friends. And if you want to try the game yourself, I highly recommend that you ask any friends if they have the game too, as playing with others is much more fun than playing alone. Just remember to put it on a large world. Anything less than that and there just won't be enough loot. Terraria deserves to be the cult classic that it is. Having many difficulty options for people that either suck at video games or are video game experts, it really caters towards anybody willing to game. It's a perfect blend of creativity, adventure, and combat mixed into one masterpiece of a game. Lots of people say that Terraria is just a 2D version of Minecraft, but that's horseshit. It's a completely different experience that I define as boss rush the game. If you've never played a video game and are looking to get an introduction to gaming, Terraria is a great way to go. It's super popular, fun, and is great for multiplayer. Put simply, Terraria is a great experience. I rate Terraria 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching and listening to my very first game review video. It was really fun to make and to edit, so expect to see more of these kinds of videos in the future. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. But if you don't enjoy my content, let me know in the comment section how I can make it better. Thank you for watching.